I want to talk about your travels. So you just got back from a trip to Israel, and it was your birthright trip. And from what I understand, every conversation I've ever had with a Jewish person who has gone to Israel has come back feeling changed, different. They saw things, felt things over there that literally changed the physiology within them. They speak about these trips that happened maybe years ago at this point with such reverence, and they recall every moment of it. I understand that you just went on this trip and kind of had that experience. So what was it like for you going there?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't know what to expect. You're told about this trip, just to put it in perspective for those that are listening that might not understand what birthright is. So it used to be maximum 26 years old. Now it's 32. But for any Jewish person in the world that's under 32 years old, due to some very grateful sponsors, they give kids, and I'm not a kid, but they give Jewish people under 32 years old basically a free trip to Israel. Some trips are 7 days, some trips are 10 days, and you go all over the country. I would say before this trip, I was bar mitzvahed at 13 years old, but I'm 32. I'm going to be 33 next month. Really in between that time, I kind of lost track of my culture, my heritage, my religion. And I really took it for granted for sure. A lot of it was just like, I was glad that the bar mitzvah journey was over because it's a lot. And then afterwards, you're in high school, you go to college, and then you're moving around the country, and you just kind of, I don't know, I just kind of lost sight of it. And I used to joke with people that I was Jewish, like I didn't take it all that seriously. But what ends up happening, at least for my trip, is there was 20 random people from the United States that get together. We all meet in New York, take a plane ride, go to Israel, and spend the next 7 days together. People that honestly would have never crossed paths before. And we all said that out loud. I mean, you have single people, you have married people, you have married people with kids, you have straight people, you have gay people, you have transgender. I mean, just all different walks of life that literally we were like, hey, if I would have passed you on the street, I probably would have kept it moving. But now, after 7 days and visiting the places that we visited, I look at these people like I'd do anything for them. And that's just the people aspect. Then you talk about going to a country where in the United States, Jewish people are a minority, and we're a minority around the world as well. But this one place, this one war-torn country in the Middle East, this one democracy is the Jewish state where you are the majority. And there's no feeling like it. Just imagine being different for whatever reason you're different, and then going to a place where everybody's like you. It is liberating. It's exciting. And then the people we met were amazing. We went to different places such as the Dead Sea, and you go in there and it's just a different type of feeling. We went to a Holocaust museum. We had the privilege of hearing from a Holocaust survivor, which was overwhelming to hear the least. I mean, they are dying off at old age now. I mean, it's probably going to be another 5-10 years before there's no more Holocaust survivors. The one we heard from, he was 5 years old at the time. And what he told us was, at 5 years old, you don't really know what's going on in the world. You just think everything that's happening around you is normal. And he grew up in what was not normal, in just the most evil period perhaps ever committed against the Jewish people. 6 million people were killed. So it was really inspiring to hear from him. We went to the Western Wall, the holiest place on earth. You get a chance to go to Jerusalem, and you just feel like it's an out-of-body experience. You feel like there's something taking over you. And you go to the wall, and I left a message for God. Again, I'm not that religious, but it was overwhelming as well, in a really positive way. And then by the end of the trip, we were all looking at each other, and we were like, wow, 7 days has come and gone. And, it stinks that we all have to go back to our own corners of the US now. And we have to leave each other, but we've been talking every day since. We have this group chat. In fact, I'm going to reach out to one of the members of my trip who said that, she was having a hard time with something today. And I was like, hey, I'll give you as much time as you need to talk to you, just because I feel like we all have this responsibility now to not only take back what we learned from Israel and bring it to the United States and kind of share about our heritage, because there's a lot of misconceptions going on right now, especially with the conflict, but also take care of each other because we went through this amazing experience. So yeah, it changed me. It changed me for the better. And I really think that if there's been something missing in my life that I want to accomplish, perhaps getting to know my roots again can help me get there.
I love that story. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know from just my own travels, anytime I set out, I've been abroad several times, or even when I go to different states, when I was in Colorado for a couple months, anytime I set out on travels, I want to learn something about myself and about the world, and then apply it to whatever next phase of my life ends up being and keep it with me. So as you are now away from Israel and back into your normal everyday grind in Columbus, Ohio, what have you taken from there that you will now apply to your life going forward?
Well, I think first and foremost, again, I want to learn more about my culture, my religion, because they really are two different things. And I want to take what I've learned from Israel and try and, without shoving it in people's faces, I'm not trying to pour anything down people's throats, but just kind of get them to have a little bit more understanding about just our heritage and also just what's going on right now over there. As Americans, we do not get the full details of what's going on. We get some news reports here and there, but it's very watered down. And as a journalist, I can respect knowing that we need to learn more. So I think when I'm here, I'm definitely going to try and join some local Jewish groups just to try and connect with more people. But also I want to inform people about what's going on over there because, a lot of people have some misconceptions about what's going on in Israel and who's doing what. And, without getting into the nitty gritty of it, I think one thing I take a lot of pride in, obviously for what I do for a living, is try to inform people the best that I can. And so if I can lay it out, they can play it out.